Alright guys, what we got here is the NS846. It is the STIHL 250 clone. And I didn't do an unboxing on it, that's my bad. I've done a video with it, cutting a little bit, not a lot. Just show you, this thing rips. Here to tell you, it's mean for its size. Comes with a bar and a chain. Neotec chain. It's a 325 62 drive link. So the Neotec's done pretty good with these chains. First cut, I nailed a piece of wire in the little round that I was cutting. I didn't see, but only damaged one chain. But I went ahead and filed it and took it down. I haven't had to hit the rakers yet, but I've sharpened this thing 2 or 3 times, but it does real good. Chain brake on this one is solid. I'll just go over some of the features of it here. I want to knock that over. Alright. Easy to get just like your regular 250s. Easy to get to the filter and everything. I haven't done a whole lot with this one. I need to blow this off. But it seems to be filtering pretty good. I think all that down in there is just what I just put down in there. So, pop that out for winter if you need it, or to get to your plug. It does come with them torch plugs. I haven't put a new one in it yet. But I ain't had a problem out of this thing. Didn't watch the other video. It run good with that plug. I probably won't change it until I need to. The one thing I have found, of course, I don't deal with steel a whole lot as far as these quarter turn caps, but this one, if you overfill it on the oil side, it is very hard to get back in, which I don't think that's a Neotec thing. I think that's just the way them quarter caps are. I think that's one of the few downfalls that they have. But some people say these things leak on some of the other saws. They do not leak on this one. I have had the can off on it. It is got a baffle in there. But it's pretty open after that. It's actually got two, right there is pretty huge in there. You could open these up. This does not come off, this deflector. It's spot welded on there. But you could open it up some if you wanted that. I do muffler mods on all of my saws, all of them except for my Echo that I've got. It's got a muffler mod on it. And, and my 07090 clone. I ain't found a easy muffler mod for it yet, but all of mine's got muffler mods on them, and there's no need to mod this one. I'm only using this one for lemon and sawing up little stuff, just play around the house with and whatnot. I have done some processing with it, and like I said, it does good. It cuts really good. It can pull an 18 with no problem. Let me show you this. Take this apart and I'll show you this. Make sure I've got it in the video. Huh. I was looking for the serial number on this thing. Right there it is. Found it. I'll write that down later. I write all my serial numbers down and whatnot. Clean this thing up. brush it off here just a little bit. So this tensioner is by far one of the best tensioners I've seen on Neotec. This thing is smooth. Like the gears in it, you don't feel any binding or anything like you do on the Husqvarna 372 clone or any of that. This thing, it's perfect. Like you couldn't ask for a better one. It's like OEM quality. I'm not saying it is, but it feels like it right now, and it may break in 10 minutes, who knows. But I may say that and put this thing back together and it breaks. I did pull this off when I first got it and looked at the bearings on it, and they were pretty well greased. Shoes look good in there. I am going to add a little more to it if I can find my stuff. I always use some of this to throw on there occasionally. For some reason it's what I've always used, and I've not wore bearings out yet. Seems to work pretty good. It is 325. You could probably go to 3/8 low pro or Pico or whatever they call it if you want to. That's the chain that you like to run. That can be done pretty easy. So make sure we don't lose this thing. There we go. Alright. So I ain't running a whole lot. It's still pretty clean, but I try to keep my saws clean too. So let's see here, what else? The gas cap on it works real good. So, and I like this. That is just awesome. That color, and that feels like one piece of plastic that's got that in it, not just a sticker. Of course, they don't have any stickers up here. Of course, everybody knows about take this back off here for you. These carburetor adjustments on these are, I don't take them out unless I have to reach it. I've been able to reach them. You can see that down there. I've been able to reach them, but they're not the easiest thing in the world to reach, trying to get a screwdriver down in there. If I can find my daughter's run off with it probably. Here's one. We'll just use it for example. It can get down in there. It's getting to the low jet that I have found a hard time to get to the way it's set up. This one and the high jet's pretty easy. That low jet's a little difficult, not impossible, but still, some people that could be an issue. Guys, if you haven't tried Neotec and you're looking, trying to buy a first saw or something like that, these guys they're stepping up their game. They're listening to their customers and coming back with fixes on stuff that's wrong. Which I'm going to go over the 070 here in a minute, because it was a return saw, and that'll be a different video. Today's July the 4th, and instead of busting wood or bundling it, which I probably need to be doing, it's too hot. Heat index of 105, and I was like, nope, not doing it. I will sit in my cool basement, even though it's nasty right now. Kiddo's been down here playing, but and do videos. So here we are. But anyway, back to these saws. You just want a little lemon saw or something to cut trees up. You know, small trees in a storm may come down around your house or whatnot. This is a perfect size saw for that. 46 cc's. It'll pull 18 no problem. It rips for that 16. I'd even venture to say it probably would do a 20 if you really wanted to push that far. It's going to be a little harder on it, but it would probably pull a 20. It would struggle a little bit, but it'd probably pull it. if you had to go that big for some reason. But for the price point of these, you can't beat them. I know they're Chinese saws, support America, yada yada yada, but and it being the 4th, here I am doing a video on Chinese saws, but nobody's producing saws this quality at this price anymore except for these companies. I don't know about the blue saws. I don't run them. I do have a saw that's got a blue saw cylinder on it that I rebuilt, and it seems to do pretty good. But these Neotecs, they're just, I don't know. I found them. I bought the 372 Husqvarna. I was looking for some replacement saws for my dad's saws because I didn't want to burn them up. So I went with the 372, and I didn't want to be a STIHL boy. But honestly, my STIHL 380 clone is probably my favorite saw, and this one here is growing on me. But my STIHL saws are becoming my favorites, my STIHL clones. I've got the 372, or the 872 380 clone, the 660 clone, the 070, which I've kind of done some work to it. I've got this one. I got the top handle. I've got their weed eaters. I've got a tiller that I'm going to do a video on that they come out with. There's just not the price point. You can't beat them. But this is the little 250. I'll put it back together. You're going to watch me put it together, and I'll get some video of running it at some point. I should have done that yesterday, but I couldn't find my tripod for my phone. I've got some wood to cut that I'll probably go cut tomorrow. So throw this back together right now for video purposes. Don't knock the tripod over. It does have this right here, which I have found, it goes in here, but I have found if you're not careful, this will get bind and it will leave it setting up like that. So you've got to make sure that gets in that hole on these, which is not a problem. It's just something to pay attention to when you're doing it. So and you don't want to over tighten the chain, especially these Neotec bars and chains. When you first get them, they'll be a little stiff. It takes a little bit to break them chains in. I don't know if it's the metal that they're using or necessarily what it is, but they're good chains. They're stiff. So I leave mine a little loose. That's probably a little too loose. I'll tighten it up later. But I've got 3 or 4 chains that I've run that are Neotecs, and I usually switch over to the STIHL chains, STIHL RS. But right now I'm going to hang on this chain on this one, and I'm just going to sharpen it and run it until it ain't got nothing left and see what it does, because they're reasonably priced if you can find them. There's Facebook deals on them all the time if you follow their Facebook page. I wish STIHL had a hexa cut for these, but they don't. I like that hexa cut. But leave them a little loose. Don't run them tight, and run them that way for a little bit, and then you can start gradually tightening them up. Because if you tighten them up, these bars, they're good bars, but the metal's a little soft on them, I think. Not horrible, but they're not, you know, Samara or Sugihara or any of those. So they want to get a lip on them right here, a burr, and you got to grind that down some if you run them too tight. But it does have the oil or the grease fitting on there, and I always just shoot some in there. I had to fill my grease can up, and that's not wanting to, not doing its thing here like it normally does. But we'll get some in there, but I always shoot some in there before I start, just one or two before I take it out. And eventually it'll, I mean, it's full, but just on the safe side. So if I find some sections, I'll pop it off and ignore the mess. Like I said, my daughter's been down here playing, but she makes a mess, likes to create stuff, very creative mind. But I'll pop it off, let you see it run, and it's not hard to, they're not hard to start. Same controls as the rest of them. Now, I hadn't tried to start this thing today. Makes my light flicker. The throttle response in this thing is just amazing without a muffler mod or to change the airflow across it. But awesome little saw. Of course, I'll do updates if I run into any problems on it. But I don't foresee how there could be that many problems wrong with this one, the way it's built. And I've checked everything on it before when I unboxed it. And honestly, there's the 250s are easy to work on anyway. So, but if you're just getting into them, want to learn about saws, it's an awesome little saw to start with. So, but works nice and easy. Even on the check your plugs. That's one thing you can do on your AV mounts. It's got these plugs in them to help hold everything together. Check them even on the steel 250s. I used to have an older one, and they would pop out, so keep an eye on it. But I haven't lost any screws out of it. Tightened them up, checked them. I did. It comes with a metal dog. Of course, it's got that plastic one in there. If you don't want to put the metal one on, you can just run that plastic one. I did cut one cut with just a plastic one, and it seemed to do alright, but I like the metal dog. This is plastic. It's mostly plastic. Plastics. That's plastic. Plastic. It's a almost entirely plastic saw, but so is the 250. So there we go. Alright guys, just cap off the video with the MS250. It is an amazing little saw for the price. They're not very much. You can get them on Amazon, or shoot me a message, schulerwood@gmail.com, and I can hook you up with a saw if you want one. Spoiler alert, you may want to like and subscribe. I know I don't say that, I don't push it. YouTube's not my thing, I just do it for the fun of it. Show the saws and whatnot. I'm not looking to get rich off of YouTube. Everybody else is done making money off of it, and I'm a little late to the game on that. But I do like showing the saws off and running saws, and this gives me an opportunity to do that, and maybe somebody can learn something from it. But spoiler alert, they just released the NH with 8120, NH8120, that's the best way to say it. It is the Husqvarna 3120 clone. They come out July the 1st, and I ordered mine on July the 1st. So it should be here in 2 to 5 business days is what it says. Which today's the 4th, like I said in the video. So Saturday, Sunday, something like that. When we get it, I will do an unboxing on it, and then I'll go through and check everything, all the nuts, bolts, show you different details on it, kind of like I've done today with the 250, which I've done it backwards, but still. And then we'll run it some. I've got a big log that I'm waiting specifically for it to cut. Big red oak. Should do pretty good. I did order a bar to come with that, 36 inch. It is a 3/8
saw. But I've got a 32-inch 3/8 for Husqvarna that I Forester bar that I will probably put on it just to, if the other one doesn't come by then, to run it. That way I can get the video in, and then I'll show you that bar and chain when it comes in. Let's see what else. The next video I'm going to do, I'm doing it today, but it probably won't be able to release until next week sometime. Just that way I'm not piling video up on video, and you guys getting overloaded, me doing 2 or 3 videos a day and then not doing one for a couple of weeks, trying to make some up ahead of time. It's going to be the NS846, the 070 clone, which is not a 070 now, it is an 090. I did put the 66mm cylinder on it, but we'll talk about that in the next video. So, alright guys, like and subscribe if you don't mind. May not be the best channel, but might learn something too. You guys have a good day.